Hey everybody, it's your friend Sarmate here, and we're back with another series of settlement survival. I've been a fantastic and amazing day today. We have our town spot picked out already. This town's name is going to be Niflheim because we have picked our difficulties. I'll put all the stats and stuff in the description below so you can check that out. And this is supposedly a super cold map. So Niflheim, in case you don't know, is the ice world in Norse mythology. So I thought it was a good name. So we're going to go ahead and go for it. I picked this location because it wasn't particularly advantageous for us. So if we take a quick peek around here, there's a couple new things since last time we started a game, such as this guy right here. This is a bonus for Jade. Kind of cool that they're adding that in there. And there's some of the older ones. We got this one here. This is our Fertility. The land is fertile here. This is where if we put in some farms and whatnot, they are going to produce plus 50% more. And then the other new one is this little guy right here. This one is beneficial to gold in a deep mine or a quarry, what the little thing says there. So a couple little things around here. And like I said, there's nothing really particularly advantageous about where we pick, except for once I get a little bridge right here, we have 3 pubs right all next door. So pretty good, but it's going to take us a little bit to get there. What we got to do, of course, is get established. So let's get a little bit of zoomed in here, and we're going to go ahead and start with our roads like we normally do. Go ahead and grab those dirt roads, and let's go ahead and hide the trees. In case you don't know, you can press H, and that'll hide all the trees, so you can see what the heck's going on. Sometimes it gets a little bit cluttered. So we got our dirt road here, and we're going to go ahead and pick this up. So what I'm kind of thinking of is we're going to build the houses in this more flat area, and then we're kind of going to go into like the corners around here of the mountains for more of our industrially things. And then we'll kind of come up toward this fertile land up here with our farms. It's kind of tight space. Got a lot of mountains to deal with, but I think that'll just kind of add to it a little bit. So we'll go ahead and just work around them. I guess we kind of have to. So we'll go ahead and do our normal kind of like T start that I do over here. And we're going to head in this direction with the road for sure, because I got a lot I want to do on this bank. We got to do a bridge, like I mentioned. I would like to get some fish going, but let's see if we can get into any of that in this episode. So let's go ahead and get our houses. So we currently have 20 people. Each house can have up to 4 people in it. So we're going to need about 5. I'm going to go with 6, just so that we should have plenty. I think we're going to go with, we'll go with our 2x2 setup that we've been utilizing, and I kind of like that. So we're going to go ahead. I like the look of it, so that's why I like to use it. So that's 4. And then, should we go? Yeah, let's just keep working our way this way, and we'll do another 2, and that's going to be our 6, and then we'll go on the other side once we get to that point. So let's go ahead and get our road started here. And now, of course, we don't have a whole lot of resources. We just started, so we haven't even started like moving the game yet. So we have our houses picked up where we want to go. We're going to go ahead and start our people here. They're going to start gathering the things and start building our houses. So what we're going to need to do, there's a lot of things to gather around here. So we're going to want to start doing that for sure. So we're going to go ahead and hit our command, and we're going to do a little gather all. And what I like to do at the beginning of my games here is to just get a little chunk of stuff. We're going to need all this stuff. We're going to need the trees. We're going to need the veggies to eat. We're going to need the rocks and the iron. So we're going to go ahead and start like with that and get those things happening. I'm going to slow down just a little bit here. We are on extreme difficulty. And so I don't want to go too far ahead of myself. So we're going to go ahead and get started with this. Let's get some processing things started. There is an achievement if you do a tailor, a chopping house, and a smithy all in the first year. And I wouldn't mind getting it. So I'm going to kind of try and do the tailor here real quick. I think I'll bring a road down in a district type direction, trying to leave space for the residential area that we we're just talking about. And let's go ahead, and we can always move this stuff later too, right? So let's go ahead and do our little our tailor right there. And I'm going to bring my road over here like this. And then we're going to kind of keep going in this direction with some of those industrially things. I'm going to go for the smithy right away, and we'll plop that about right there. And then let's also get the chopping house started, and we'll get that all right in there. So hopefully we have enough resources we can get this stuff going. Another thing that wouldn't hurt to get started right away is our distillery. We do have a small stockpile of spirits, which we absolutely are going to need to keep our happiness up. And since the last time we started a game, the health and happiness has had an update, so I'm curious to see how it's different. So we'll have to learn together. Something we're absolutely going to need also is a big well. We're going to go ahead and get this guy started. Now, we don't have a ton of workers, so we only have 11 laborers that we can do something with. So if we put one person in there, maybe 2 people in here. That's 3. We can wait on the tailor for a little bit, and we can also wait on the smithy for a little bit. So we'll have 3 people used up. That would be 8 people, 8 laborers left. So we're going to have to, balance our labors a little bit. We have a couple of tech points that we can get started with while these guys are doing that. We have 5. That's pretty generous. I feel like that's a little bit more than before. So something that I want to do right away, go into education. I really like the Research Institute right away. Get our tech points rolling in. You do get a kind of a small amount to begin with here, but let's keep it going. 2 other things I really like to get started with: medicinal research and skin disease. These are really, I feel like these are really, really important, because if you get these right away, you don't really have to worry about your immigrants bringing in diseases. I've had it before where I'll bring in a batch of immigrants and somebody has a disease that I can't handle. It's game over. So I always like to start out with these 2 things. And then for now, maybe we just hold off on any more tech points spending. We are absolutely going to do tons of trading like we've been doing lately. Mining and quarrying would be good as well. But we're going to utilize the rocks and the iron that we have around town first before we really get into that. I kind of want to, in this playthrough, I kind of want to do a different path than we normally would do. I usually go down to farming efficiency and get that hammered out right away. That is a good thing to do. And maybe we'll end up doing it eventually. But what I normally don't do right away is things like salt making and meat processing. So I want to do that sooner than later in this playthrough. So let's go ahead and get our sawmill. We can do that. This is going to allow us to make planks. We can get some fishing done. I think this would be a good thing to grab as well. Grab that. And then let's go ahead and let's get material recycling as well. So we'll get these 5 things done. The reason I wanted material recycling is because of the graveyards. Now, if you guys have watched any of my other series, you know how much I loathe the graveyards in this game. They're very, very tedious and annoying, and they fill up really fast. So you have to destroy them and rebuild them and destroy them and rebuild them until you get the Chichen Itzan from Carlos, which is level 4. Takes a long time. But we can go ahead and get our cemetery started up, and we'll worry about that when it gets full. So let's go ahead and we'll do, I usually do like a 10 by 10. I'm going to go for a little bit bigger this time. It's going to take longer to fill up if it's bigger. It's also going to cost more resources to build and rebuild. So we're going to go 192, 192, and get that started. That's a stone and wood, by the way. We do have our tailor good to go here, but alas, no leather, no wool. So there's really no point. We'll just take that person off for now. We want them to be allocated for that. We want to remember that we have somebody that we need to do as tailor. So we will need clothes eventually, but we can't quite really do it yet. So we got the graveyard coming in. We got these guys. Let's go ahead and get our research institute started as well. I'm kind of putting them all over in this space, partially to take up the rocks that are here, and because it's kind of just scooted to the side. I do want to put in more housing in here, and we'll do that as we get more and more people. We got to keep our eyes peeled for some immigrants on the way here. When we see them, we're going to take them for sure, and add all sorts of people to our buildings, into our town, and just go that way as much as possible. Another thing that I would like to do in this playthrough is, towards the end game, you will be able to replace your town hall with a building that's 45 by 26, I believe. It's a big one. So I want to have the space for it. So I think what we'll do, I'm going to get the town hall. You kind of have to have this guy to start with here. So we're going to get that thing going. But I kind of want to keep in mind that I want to use a good chunk of this space for that. We could always delete the houses and move them and rebuild them. We may end up doing that eventually here. So let's go ahead and we'll get our road allocated. Have a plan started on what we want to do. We do have a couple critters running around here. I did just get the achievement infrastructure, so we did get the shopping house, the tailor, and the smithy all completed all in the first year. Not that difficult to do. It's only May, so shopping house, we got to get some things ready for the winter time where it's going to get cold, right? So we have 0 domestic fuel and 0 coal right now, so let's get 2 people working on this. We also are at 0 food and 0 water, so let's go ahead and get some trees back on here so we can see what we want to get gathered up, and let's do some gathering of some trees. We got to mark these, so it's something that we can think about doing. It's summertime, it's warmer, right? We can go further away from the town and leave some of the closer trees in. And the reason we want to do that is because there is freezing to death in this game. So if we go close with a lot of our trees right away in the summertime, then all of our trees are gone. And then if we need any in the winter, we're kind of out of luck. So I'm going to try and avoid that. I'm going to get this little swath right here. We have plenty of other trees to grab around here from the wintertime, and we'll kind of just work our way over in here for trees. Let's get these guys working on some water. So we now have 4 people allocated to things, 2 people in the chopping house, 2 people in the big well, and then I guess we have 3 people in the builder's cabin as well. So now we're down to 7 laborers. We don't want to go too crazy with the laborers. We want to have a couple people left to walk around, you know, move goods around, build some stuff, gather the things. So we're going to leave it like that for now. Let's go ahead. We could kind of like plan out for space-wise where we want to do a couple more houses, but I don't want to build them yet because of the resource thing. So I'll plop that there. I'll pause it. And we're going to go like that, and we're just going to kind of lay it out and just be ready for additional housing eventually here. So we should have plenty of housing space. We should also have, if we go I and we go to collection, we only have broccoli. We don't have any animals. We don't have any blueprints. Yeah, not a whole lot that we can do really to get started with. We do also have our sawmill. We can upgrade our chopping house to the sawmill. I mean, maybe I should have just built the sawmill instead of the chopping house, but too late now. So we'll just gather up the stone, the iron ore, and the timber and stuff, and then we'll just upgrade it when we can. Or we just build another one. We'll probably need another one. We'll probably have enough need for residential fuels for the wintertime to warrant both. So I think that's what we'll do. So what I'm going to do here is we're just going to let the game go. We're going to get our things built up, hopefully get some water in, get a little bit of food happening, and I'll bring you back once we progress a little bit. We are just finishing up the first winter. We are all the way into January year 2. There's a couple buildings that I kind of forgot about for a little bit there. There was the clinic and the church. So we got those on the way here. They're getting built up. We got our town hall ready to go. And as soon as you get your town hall good to go, you are able to take in immigrants, which then provides them to show up on the timeline here. So you can see here we got some immigrants on the way. Super hyped about it. Super excited. We did have a couple of people become laborers. So that's great. We're up to 9 laborers now. So we're doing awesome. There's a couple other things that I want to add in. So as we get more people, of course, you're going to have to feed those people. So what we want to get is the gatherer hut and the hunter's hut. So we don't want to forget about these. We're going to go ahead and get the gatherer hut started up. We're going to go from this little area. I'm going to bring it up just a touch here. I want to be, you know, not in the water so much. We still kind of lose a little bit of a space because of the mountain right there, but that's all right. And let's also get the hunter's hut. So, you know, 2 important things here for food is the plants around and the animals. So let's go ahead and get the hunter's hut going. Another great thing about the hunter's hut is it's going to provide us with bats. Bats are important because then we can make soap, which then is going to help our health of the town. So all sorts of good stuff from all that happening. So we're going to go ahead and get these queued up, get built. We, of course, are going to want dirt road to tie that in up over there. And then let's also go ahead and check out a couple things. We want a repair shop as well. So I'm going to go ahead and put this guy in. Repair shop is going to be important because we're going to have buildings that are going to start to deteriorate and we want to be able to repair them. So I'm going to plop this guy. I think I'm going to go over here. Actually, sure, right there. The reason why I want to do that is because I want to do a storage yard in here and utilize this space for that. We're going to go ahead and get that laid in here. And let's go ahead and mark some more things for gathering. So we've just been gathering, you know, whatever's close by here. I head in this direction this part of the year because we kind of weren't all the way down here last year. So we'll just let that space regrow and then we'll keep working our way this, keep getting some more of those trees, all the goodies that are over there, and we'll be able to get our hunter going. So we need some timber, we need some iron ore. And I think there was a couple of iron ore blobs right here, and sure enough, there they are. So I'm going to specifically say gather rocks, and we're just going to gather up these iron ores that are over here. Gather that stone. There's some stone here, and maybe we'll pick this up as well, and we'll see how that goes. And, you know, while we're out here, let's go ahead and gather some more plants. Make sure that we got enough food happening until we can get this hunter's hut going. I'm also going to prioritize this one. I care about that a little bit more than anything at this moment. So now we do have a handful of tech points again, so that's super great. What we're going to get into, I want the warehouse. We're going to get that. I kind of want the baskets and get started with some baskets a little bit earlier. Again, kind of referring to, I want to change my path a little bit here. But we need some processing and knitting to get that done. And in order to get the knitting done, we are going to need reeds. So I think I'm going to go ahead and get reeds. But the thing with reeds is you need to have clay. And for that, we need sand mining. So you can see this kind of like stack thing that happens here. So let's go ahead and we'll get the reed. And then let's go for sand mining. I don't want to get too wild on that just yet. It's a little early. Let's get our basic stuff happening, but we'll learn it. So what we have it, I'm kind of thinking about pottery, but I just want to take a quick look here. And I think the next thing that would make the most sense is either soap or the police station. So this is your health, and this is your happiness. I'm thinking about maybe we start with the police station. Once we get the hunter cabin established, we're really close to another point. Then we'll go ahead and get soap. So let's go ahead and do police station, and we'll get that thing built up. Soap service, police station. We'll start with that. And rotate that guy and get it fixed in here. Let's go a little bit further south, since we'll be more buildings in this direction than this direction. So I think I'll plop it right here by the church. We'll get that guy built up as well. That'll be good. And now we have our warehouse, small warehouse, and a regular old warehouse. I guess I could have put these in here instead of the storage yard. So maybe let's go ahead and demo that guy. I'm gonna take a moment. So once that's demoed, we'll go ahead and we'll put a couple warehouses in there. The warehouses are better. They're gonna be more capacity to store things. So it just kind of makes more sense to have that. And we're still waiting for some iron ore here. We got people over here gathering up. They're bringing it back. So this thing should get done here pretty quick, and hopefully we can utilize it a little bit this year. Since we're doing okay with laborers right now, I'm going to go ahead and leave the person in the repair shop, and we'll get that, available, and then they'll keep their eyes on the buildings and make sure that our buildings are good to go. Our hunter's guy is almost complete. We should hopefully have enough iron ore. Yep, we do, for the gatherer's hut as well. So let's go ahead and we'll take a quick peek. Yep, we already got some more coming in here. That's awesome. I just want to see if there's anything close. Okay, good. We have that marked as well. And I'm seeing lots of little plants out here, so let's mark those guys for gathering. Get those in here and get some food happening. Get some, or I was going to say agave for spirits, but we don't have a thing to make spirits. So I think we should do is let's go ahead and get that sawmill in first of all. We're going to need some planks started up here pretty quick. So we'll get planks going. And how are we doing on domestic fuels here? Okay, we're in the red, so that's not great. So what I'm thinking is we'll get this sawmill built up, we'll get some planks happening, and then once the planks are done, what we want, like, I don't know, 20 planks or something, and then we'll turn it back to domestic fuels, and then we'll be able to utilize that as well. That's kind of my plan, and we'll go ahead and work towards that here. So we got our hunter set good to go. Super awesome. We still have plenty of laborers, so we're going to go ahead and put 2 more people in here to really get as much out of the animals that are around here before the winter comes. It's already September, so it's right around the corner. So I'm kind of getting a little bit worried about it. We're at a whole 0 food, so not wonderful. We do have some citizens who want new houses. We have them laid out here. You can see that I put a couple in here so that we're kind of prepared. Oh, and here comes winter. So we are absolutely going to halt these further out operations again because of that cold thing. I don't want people to freeze to death. And then we might as well do a little bit of a gather all here. So anybody who's just hanging out, we have some things marked. They can go gather them up. But hopefully we continue to get some more food here in the wintertime. We got deer running around all over the place, so we should be able to do that. And you can see here we got bats happening. We got a little bit of leather. So that's the first step into clothing. And like I mentioned before, our health. So as soon as we get... Oh, we have the tech point, so we got it. Let's go ahead and get our soap. And let's get our soap workshop placed. So we're going to need some really basic things for this. So not a big deal at all. And let's go ahead and rotate this guy around about like so. So what I'm thinking is what I usually do with the cemeteries is once it fills up, I delete it. And I have 2. And I go back and forth and back and forth. And I want to do that again because it's pretty effective. So I think I'll put the soap workshop down over here. And pretty soon it will kind of tie in. Well, let's actually just lay it out right now. We'll tie in our road like, whoa, it's kind of weird. We'll tie in our road like that. And that now we have an idea of what we want to do. So for the cemetery, maybe I'll place it up here or something, and we'll just go back and forth like we normally do. But this space is cleared out now. So let's go ahead and get our small warehouses tucked in there. I'm going to go ahead and face them in this direction. And we have room for a road, and we'll run a road right in betwixt there. Just kind of bring it together. Our doctor's office is working. We got people visiting, getting their broken bones fixed. It's looking great. And we have one more tech point. And the tech point that I want to get into next... Ooh, boy, that's a good question. I think what we'll have to do... Can we do salts? We can do salt works. So I'm very tempted to do some salt works. We can... just planks, clay, and iron ore. We don't have the clay yet, like I mentioned. Don't really have planks yet either. So maybe I'll just hold on to that tech point. For now, I won't spend it. We'll hold off. And we'll see what else we may need. We only also have 2 laborers left, so to continue to build the clay pits and all that other stuff that we unlocked would be kind of silly right now because I don't want to run out of labor. We got to have laborers to go out and gather up the trees and whatnot that we're chopping down to build the town. We almost have some immigrants here, so that'll be great once they arrive. But I think this will be a great stopping point for our first episode in our new series of Settlement Survival. Thanks for coming and hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I really hope to see you on the next episode. Have a fantastic and amazing rest of your evening, day, or night.